Alright, we're here. And George did the bang.
Okay. Bang bang.
Bang bang.
Chitty chitty bang bang, our fine four-fingered friend. Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Is there the output on that?
Let me see.
That's a good mic test.
I have to look up the lyrics so I can sing along.
Chitty
Chitty bang bang, we love you, and in chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, what we'll do, near far in our
waste
motor
of my
car.
editing time.
Oh,
Let's
what
go.
a happy time we'll spend.
Steven,
Bang bang.
are you ready? Because I gotta
Chitty
ask you a
chitty,
question.
bang bang, our fine four-fendered friend. Bang bang, chitty chitty, bang bang. Alright, well.
Ah! Disclaimer. Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find and mess with the authors featured on our show. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy. Now, of all of the members of the Mystery Incorporated gang, who would you say is the hottest? I want to hear your tier list of bangability of the crew.
Velma Dinkley, let's see here. Then there's Daphne, Fred, and Shaggy, and then at the very bottom tier is Scooby. Now, actually, I'd put Scooby above Shaggy. Actually.
Fucking furry.
Hey,
Steven,
yeah.
I predicted that exact list, and I'll tell you who the real number one is. It's Fred. He's fucking buff, and he's hot. And then after that,
He
automatically
skips leg
Daphne
day.
goes to the bottom because she's annoying. And then,
Fred is like, he's buff, but like his legs are so fucking scrawny. If he picked you up, he'd break his knees instantly. That fucker couldn't handle anyone, alright? And Shaggy's at the bottom of the
weight
list
of like
'cause
2 sacks of potatoes. That would not break Fred's legs.
What'd you say? Fucking repeat that to me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Crossing the Line, a
Welcome.
fanfiction podcast where we will be reading, reviewing, and critiquing some delightful fanfictions for your entertainment.
Welcome to Hot Enough Cast, where we rate Hanna-Barbera cartoons on levels of hotness. So, George, what's your opinion on Snagglepuss?
Which one is Snagglepuss?
He's like the pink one who's gay as fuck. What's your opinion? He's the twink.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up Snagglepuss.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Snagglepuss Cast. We're gonna be reading some nice Snagglepuss Chronicles comics. Let's see here. Here comes Broadway's brightest star, the man of the hour, Snagglepuss. Play the over.
Steven, we can't see the comic.
Well, you guys need to look it up, because this is some okay shit. Actually, no, it's
This
not.
podcast has spiraled out of control.
My name is George, also known as G-Pool, and tonight I'm joined with my lovely cohorts.
Elias,
Blue Breed.
listen to my soda.
Listen to my Snagglepuss.
Because it's the day to be happy and gay. Happy birthday, Your Majesty the Queen. Ah, the Queen. Were I but to meet her face to puss.
Stephen, who are you? And don't say Snagglepuss.
I'd have to be lying otherwise, George. I don't know.
I'm banning Snagglepuss from the podcast.
My name is, I'm Blue Breed, and I do the boobs and the baps for a living.
Link in the description.
Link in
And
the
if
description.
you're on Spotify or iTunes or one of those sites, look it up. You lazy son of a bitch.
If you're on
There's probably
Tumblr
descriptions on
or
Spotify.
Hentai,
Oh,
check
you're
it
right.
out.
I don't know, I've never used Spotify before.
Steven, do you like Juji fruits?
Oh yeah, I love Juju Fruits.
I'm trying to eat one right now. I'm having a real hard time.
Well, it's really chewy, yeah. I remember I actually had a box
I
of
told
Juju
you.
Fruits, and it actually, like, pulled a
Wise
cat.
has these.
Yeah?
Wise has this box of Juji fruits that are essentially wet cement.
I bought
Yeah,
them in
like
that
it-
neighborhood gas station.
If they do. Oh yeah, if you get them, like, when they're too old, they're just fucking impossible. I actually had an old box, and it frickin' pulled a cap off my tooth.
They don't expire until next year.
Jesus Christ, okay then, well fuck. Alright, so, this week's theme is Scooby-Doo crossovers. Alright, so how should we decide who goes first?
Does anybody have one that they're like, I have to save it for last, or I have to do this first? I'd like to do mine second because I think this one's going to be kind of a landmark one, like your title drama one was last time.
I got you.
What do you
Well,
mean, landmark?
I'm going to think back to this 10 years later and say, remember that time we read the actual script of the first Total Drama Island, except there were Dragon Ball OCs and they were really cool?
remember when DJ joined the crew? That was a good time.
Remember when DJ started providing the backstory for the OC characters?
When it had already been provided.
Like individually to every single other camp member once originally?
Remember when they said that the crew members were introduced, but then they introduced themselves again anyway? Fucking...
That's enough about last episode.
Alright,
What do you guys got?
Well, let's see. George, you went first last time, right?
That is correct.
Alright, well, I guess I'll take a crack at first this time. Get this one out of the way. Alright, so my story is called A Big... What?
These are the rules.
What are the rules?
As funny as censoring every single instant was last time, and it took me a really long time, let's try not to say the titles or the authors. Unless
Alright,
it's really
okay.
funny to us.
Alright, I'll just read the synopsis. I mean, the friggin... the title and the author are pretty decent on this one. They go hand in hand.
Alright, tell me, but don't tell anybody else.
Okay, your hand... Alright, Elias. The title is A Big... and it's by the...
Okay, that's pretty
Okay,
funny.
that was
Alright,
good.
Alright,
I'm not telling you guys to look this one up, but just trust me, it was good.
Yeah, alright, it's rated T, it's 2 chapters, 1,969 words, and the synopsis is, Sheldon and Leonard wake up in a parallel universe. They don't understand how they got there or how they got animated, all they know is explained, and are in for a secret twist of events to unfold before them. Will they get home, or will they be trapped?
I almost picked this one.
Sheldon?
But I
Alright.
didn't.
I can't remember those names, I'm excited.
Oh, you will. Alright, so...
Okay.
Alright, so chapter 1 has sound effects. Knock, 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 knock. Here, I can actually turn on the gain. And, Sheldon!
Really there.
Sheldon, wake up! Who disturbs me while I slumber in my REM sleep in a time like this? Sheldon looks around as he opens his eyes as wide as
Okay,
an
well,
owl.
I already know who it is. I'm already not happy.
Shush! I'm detailing the situation. I'm setting the scope. Sheldon looks around as he opens his eyes as wide as an owl. Holy Spock, Batman, he says. He looks to the left. Please, for the love of Flash, tell me I'm dreaming or stoned, and we both know neither are happening, Leonard. Leonard looks at Sheldon.
Sheldon turned his head around 180 degrees like an owl, too.
Yeah.
You're like some kind of android.
I'd fucking believe it.
Bazinga!
You know, I thought that at first, Sheldon, but I know you are chronically afraid of toking the tree that we get from Donnie, so I'm not the only one seeing what I'm looking at?
Wait,
Okay.
Sheldon doesn't smoke weed.
No, this is something they added in. Oh, it's the big... Okay,
Oh, right.
I get
These
it,
are
I
all
get it.
OC Big Bang Stoner characters.
LOL, they're not OCs, they're just inserting weed. Alright.
What could possibly...
They're literally just inserting fucking
No,
weed.
Steven, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's funnier this way.
Alright.
Think about it. There's weed.
Well, what can I say? You're right. It would explain why Sheldon is so fucking...
weed.
Alright.
Said it.
George, you're gonna get us fucking taken off, man.
No. I can't. Get out of here,
We're gonna-
Snagglepuss.
We're gonna get...
Weed is so funny.
Are you guys reading this while I'm reading the funny Big Bang Theory?
No, I left the tab open. And
No more Snagglepuss!
George, you yourself banned Snagglepuss. Come on.
He snuck up on me, alright? Read.
Alright. Sheldon looks behind himself. You're very correct, Leonard. Only you would put an intake of overexposure of THC and tar on the premise organ that you need. You mean my lungs? Said Leonard. Is that sarcasm? Responds Sheldon. No, smartass. Look, all I'm saying is we went to sleep and now we seem to have woken up inside of some sort of parallel universe. Or do I need to explain that to you? Sheldon glares at Leonard. Oh, what are you doing? Leonard asks. Well, I was
What do
testing
you mean
this.
parallel universe? All that happened was somebody knocked on the door.
We aren't even. Oh my god.
Wait, which one is Leonard?
Leonard's the
funny one.
yeah, Leonard's the reasonable one. Sheldon's the skinny one who's like weird.
Leonard's the one that wears glasses, right?
Yeah.
He has slicked back hair and a veiny forehead.
I'm sorry. I would have said that he had glasses, but like they're all nerds, so I conscientiously think they all wear glasses. That's what that show does to you.
Never. Sheldon's too cool for that.
Sheldon is too cool for that. What are you doing?
Sheldon is
well,
cool.
I was testing this theory by trying to turn you into a monkey with my mind, but obviously if we did end up in a time parallel universe, we're still stuck in somewhere where I'm just smart and you're useless. Sigh. Leonard starts pacing very frantically, looking left to right, almost as if he's trying to calculate something. About 5 minutes go by and he finally says, well, if my stoner instincts are correct, I am implying that you're still uptight and a pain in my ass, and yet we can't figure out what is happening at the moment. A huge crash is now heard somewhere around 4 stories beneath them.
Around.
You know, that general 4 stories.
Yeah.
So that's
The friggin'...
proximity.
I mean, they got the broken elevator, that's probably that. What was that?
You actually watched Big Bang Theory?
Everybody's watched every episode.
What'd
It's a
you
modern
say?
classic.
Alright, sorry.
No worries. What was that? Sheldon shrieks, and then it has in brackets where the guy's trying to explain himself. Well, by that I mean Sheldon hides under the blankets and starts reciting Newton's gravity laws. Without missing a beat, Leonard replies, "Your pride and manhood." What was that noise you
More
made?
like Newton's gravity laws.
Hey,
funny time.
you got him. Yeah, oh. What was that noise you made? It sounds as if someone just falcon punched your vagina. The more important question is, why the fuck are we animated and in Wolowitz's house? For those watching, Wolowitz is a Jew. That is where we are, isn't it? Sheldon
Is that an
states.
author's note?
No, that's me. That is where we are, isn't it? Sheldon states. Very, very interesting. I thought we were lost, but if this is his mom's house, why is there a man here? This is another editor's note. This is correct, for no man has stepped forth into this house other than Wolowitz and his friends. Well, I'm glad this guy corrected everyone. Had to get that out of the way. Sure enough, the strange man walks up to them, drops a package, and flies through the wall. So who's the smarter one? Shell can't prove this. Just what are you implying, Leonard? I'm implying that in science, where everything is proven correct or wrong, you have no beliefs in ghosts, but open the package before he eats your soul. Again, Sheldon just stares at Leonard. Now what are you doing, says Leonard. Oh, nothing. For a second I had a flashback to my first train set, replies Sheldon. Okay, you seriously have to stop doing that. I know you are not crazy, but this whole thing is just delusional. Sheldon looks at the box, debating on whether or not to open it. He finally decided, what's the worst that could happen? He rips the box open like a present on, well, his birthday, and finds a note and a map. Sheldon begins reading the letter out loud. The note reads, Leonard, we have word you have made it home. Follow the map and meet me in the old Coolsville malt shop. Be careful through and beware of everything. I have noted some points of interest on the maps and things you will need along the way. Just trust me, don't double question it. Yosh. And remember, you don't need to be the fastest, you just need to outrun your buddy if it comes to it. Here's a list of things you will need to pick up on the way. Oh my god, there's a list of things to take along.
Planning to kill Sheldon.
Yeah, he's just telling him to abandon him. Here's a list of things you will need to pick up on the way. Dual pistols, backpack, any medicine you can find, ammunition, rifle, hunter's knife, rope, food and water, a lighter, plexi-ion diffuser, toys that make noise, laptop, Ethernet cables, pack of Newports. 3 and
Newports.
Trusty Stoke.
Oh,
Is this
okay.
like the zombie apocalypse Scooby-Doo world? Is it real?
And then
Well,
there's
they
a
got that new Scooby-Doo comic. That Shaggy looks like a dirty hipster, but they're all
What?
like surviving zombies or something. You haven't seen that?
Oh, I haven't. No.
Yeah, it's like some weird like new age Scooby-Doo, and there's like an actual zombie apocalypse or something. But yeah, Shaggy
oh.
looks dirty and new age. I hope Shaggy has to shoot somebody with a gun.
I hope Shaggy says, and then Scooby says, do it, buddy.
The first issue is Shaggy's moral dilemma on whether or not to use a gun.
Like Bazinga.
Guys,
We're getting there.
guys, what if that comic is just Shaggy high off his ass and he's just shooting regular people?
What if Shaggy has to put Sheldon down in this universe?
There's 2 asterisks next to this next item. 3-pack of vanilla cigarillos. Do not forget.
So they need Newports and vanilla flavors.
3 packs, George. Lastly, as many Scooby snacks as you can grab. Leave at the break of...
There it is.
Of course. Leave at the break
Which one of them do you think is the smoker? Hold on, let's take bets.
The smoker. I'm gonna say...
My money's on Fred.
Yeah, Fred. Fred's sick of this
Hey,
shit.
I already took Fred. Pick someone
Well,
else.
come on! That's the most...
Sheldon.
Sheldon loaded a note and left it for Leonard.
Get him smokes.
It's just a cliff note he wrote when he found it and handed it to Leonard. You
She
should
was
read
always the
this,
smart one,
Leonard.
that Sheldon.
You better read it all, Leonard. This is important.
The ending is very important.
Do not
Only
forget
knowledge
it.
It's written in a separate type of ink.
Do not forget, Leonard. Bazinga.
Bazinga, Leonard.
Alright.
Please continue, buddy.
Let's see here. Shit, I gotta place my bet still. I'm gonna vote Scooby. Scooby himself.
Somebody has to like put it in his mouth for him.
No, I've seen him pick.
Yeah, he can do anything.
I've seen him pick up a mug of root beer with his fucking paws. He can do it.
Alright, we can pack a stove.
Leave at the break of dawn and follow the map. We have friends throughout the city and people you would only dream to meet to help along the way. For now, get some shut-eye, for tomorrow will be a huge day in your life of remembering. Signed, your Kuzo Norville. P.S. If you find a pair of glasses, please pick that up. We really need that. Sheldon looks at Leonard. Can you make sense of this?
Velma's walking around in the hellscape going, my glasses! I can't see without my glasses!
And then Fred blows a big puff of smoke in her face.
It's this way.
Follow the smell of my ashes.
Follow the smoke signal.
Well, is it in her eyes? God. Continue.
Sheldon looks at Leonard. Can you make sense of any of this nonsense? And what does he mean you don't need to be the fastest? You only have to outrun your buddy. That's me! I don't like the sound of this. Nope, I really can't think of anything off the top of my head. It looks like we have no choice but to follow the instructions if we want to figure out what's going on. But I don't remember a cousin
No
named
choice.
Norville. No, yeah, I like when they do that cop-out excuse. We just have no choice. There's no other way. And these are two, like, smart people. These are fucking PhDs.
Gotta progress the plot, Steven.
Fair enough, there are only 2 chapters. I don't know exactly what's going on, but this looks like it will be an interesting day tomorrow. Let's get some sleep and regather this in the morning. Maybe we are just tripping. End of chapter 1.
I forgot they were stoners.
Alright, Chapter 2. Note from the author. Sorry it takes a long time to get chapter up. I hand write what I want and revise it because I want to post things with twists and witty humor rather than just posting anything. Hope you follow and tell others the story. Growing up so I'm grasping the best way of getting it out. Enjoy. Chapter 2. A Laugh from the Red Sea. Sheldon closes his eyes, reciting the elements from periodic table in order. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon. Next thing he knows, it's dark. Real dark. I'm talking darker than Vader's second blind date dark. A light flickers to a podium around 30 yards in the distance, with a surround sound of laughing. On the podium, Sheldon notices a big brown box labeled, Sheldon's Prized Comics Do Not Touch. Sheldon thinks for a long minute. Reminds me of that one part in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. He shrugs. Well, by the size of this room, it is nowhere big enough to be the size of something that could hold a boulder, car, or Wallowitz's mother. I guess this is truly a dream. I've read enough of my comics to recite every panel that Stan Lee has thought up of that could be in the box. He waltzes up to the base of the podium, sweating as he moves. He slowly brings his hand up, reaching towards the box in slow motion. Dum. He drops to the ground like a Marine. Well, I'd be lying if I said that. More like an embarrassed...
That was pretty good. He drops to the ground like a Marine. Hit the fucking deck, Sheldon. Are you kidding me?
Sheldon fucking dropped.
Why?
Sheldon's seen war before.
Well, he's correcting himself here. Well, I'd be lying if I said that. More like an embarrassed 13-year-old being traumatized by the happy birthday clown who turns out to be, well, normal. Realizing nothing... Yeah.
It's fine, continue.
He took a decent joke and threw it in the fucking bin. Realizing nothing has really happened, he dropped to the ground for nothing. He stands up victoriously, raising his hands above his head like he had won the Nobel Prize, and begins yelling "Bazing!" Finish.
This kid loves similes. I gotta
Bazing! 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 Bazing!
Oh wait, it gets better. And begins yelling "Bazing!" Click, the tile beneath his feet falls in, and he falls with fear, ending his catchphrase with "Ah!" Fucking hell.
It's a better joke than they could have written on the show, I guess.
That's I don't know, there was an episode where Sheldon turned into the Flash and actually went around the world and turned back time.
Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that.
Sheldon doesn't deserve that power.
It's okay. Leonard told him a bad joke and he didn't. He wanted to turn back time so he could leave the room.
Okay, you're right. That's justifiable.
That's a good. You gotta admit that's pretty decent. He wakes up with a.
Sheldon doesn't deserve it though.
Fair enough. Fair enough. He wakes up with a hand on his mouth. A man pale as powdered donut it was connected to. Green hair, a purple Mac Daddy pinstripe suit, and a grin that even sent the king of the jungle walking off, tail between its legs. He whispers...
What?
He whispers...
Talking about King Louie, dude.
Yeah!
We're talking about King Louie.
King of Swing.
He whispers...
Jungle Book, TM.
He whispers... Shh, Scooby-Doo. Even the villains are barely surviving here in the town in a time like this. Sheldon looks over at Leonard, who is apparently sleeping like a kid on a Sunday. Leonard.
Oh, right, because...
Yeah. Leonard. Leonard replies, "What do you want, Sheldon? I stopped hiding your socks weeks ago." Sheldon looks at Leonard. "That was you! You told me the sock monster came, you liar! However, the Joker is here." The Joker!
Yes, the Joker. He has the pinstripe suit and the green hair.
Yes, in Coolsville. in Scooby-Doo. Leonard still...
Even the villains have a hard time surviving.
Leonard still trying...
Because the Joker came to town and blew all the other fake villains out of the water.
There we go.
Wait, did he just show up at their house or something?
Yes.
How did he get there?
They're at a cartoon version of their friend's house, and they fell asleep stoned on the bed. And then Sheldon got up and walked up a staircase to a box of comics, like Indiana Jones style.
Yeah.
But instead of reaching for them, he just fell to the ground really fast, stood up and jumped around, and then a tile went on the floor, and then the Joker was there, and he got scared and yelled for his friend to wake up.
You forgot when he said Bazinga. You forgot when he fell through the...
Bazinga.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
That's nothing that has happened, but that's what's happened so far.
There we go. All right. Just so everyone's up to speed. All right, so... Leonard, still trying to fall back to Night Night Land, doesn't even open his eyes and just responds with, Sheldon, I told you all that pizza before sleep would bring you nightmares. Sheldon gets up, walks to Leonard's bed, which is really an AC unit, and slaps him across the face.
What?
An AC unit?
Yes!
What, like a radiator?
Yeah, like a fucking air conditioner. Just so
I guess they're like sleeping outside, and it's just like the ventilation unit he's laying on.
That's the best guess, I guess.
Friggin' Leonard's just...
This is really weird.
Yeah, this is getting a little... This is definitely Stoner, yeah. And slaps him across the face, grabs him by the collar, and turns his head to where his eyes met the Joker's. Jesus Griffin, that's a Joker. That means Batman is real. Sheldon, you owe me $72 and a copy of Halo Reach, you sorry son of a bitch. The Joker...
When was this written?
Huh? When was it written?
When was this written?
2013.
That's a little past Halo Reach, but okay.
Yeah, that was past Halo, period, really.
You're right.
Sheldon gets up, walks to Leonard's bed, which is really... Oh, yeah, we know what Leonard's bed is. Jesus Griffin.
Right.
Let's see. The Joker looks over at Leonard and grins as if he has a business proposition. How do you grin as if you have a business proposition?
You know, he looks mischievous towards the camera and does like the evil villain pyramid finger thing.
I guess that's true. That's true. Well, of course we are real, my young lad, but unfortunately for you, being a Batman fan will get you nowhere with me because we are third cousins, and I have no time to explain further. I do not know how much longer young Percy Jackson can... Percy Jackson?!
Percy Jackson from the Olympian series.
From Scooby-Doo.
This is good. Yeah. I do not know how much longer young Percy Jackson can hold them off, for even the god of Poseidon, it brings great challenges. In our world there is no good or evil. Well, from whom you know to be good or evil has joined forces. Or there is a greater evil, out in the streets of Coolsville. And if we don't sell this, they will figure out how to jump realities and take over your world as well. So
it's up to Weed Sheldon to save the day.
Weed Sheldon, yeah. Weed Leonard, Weed fucking Joker, Weed Percy Jackson. This is
eyes red as a sun Joker.
Sleeping on an AC unit.
Do you want some of this steak, Kush, Batman? Woo! Woo!
Oh my god, in the distance you hear a shriek. My best guess would have been the sound of a pterodactyl, but what do I know? This universe is really fucked up, but the Joker responds. The Joker... He spelled respond as respawn, like to respawn in a game. So the Joker
spelled screech like screeb.
No, it's scree. It's just shree, but shree like SRGI. Anyway. Like I said, there's no time, you fools. I'm in charge of getting you to the ammo shop downtown near the funhouse. Leave everything. I shall cover for you. When you meet Norville, tell him I said I'll meet him in the circle of life. Joker, are you okay? Joker, are you going down to the ammo shop for another reason?
The circle of life.
God. All right then. Well, Leonard and Sheldon take down running down the hall, turn the corner through what seems like 50 different doorways, and down 30 flights of stairs. When they found the door, they hear a gunshot going off in the distance, and the sounds of the deepest depths of Tarsus undead minions shrieking in defeat. Oh, Leonard, I told you one day an apocalypse was coming. I rued this day. Leonard respawns. Again, they spell like he respawned. I guess they're just teleporting or something. Shut up.
Leonard died and then walked into the room and respawned.
Just a reminder, this isn't your average ordinary Sheldon and Leonard. These are like animated, like freaking Butch Hartman looking Sheldon and Leonard.
And they're fucking
keep
stoned.
That in mind as the story progresses.
Yeah. And they're stoned off their asses too.
They're also very funny and high.
Shut up, Sheldon. If we are going to survive this and get home, we need to keep calm and keep moving. For the reviewers, I haven't quite decided.
Wait, hold on. Did you just like abruptly end the chapter and go straight into like reviews?
Yep.
This is the author talking to the reviewers.
Yep.
What?
At the end, yeah.
At the end, the author is talking to his fans.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I don't think I need to go into this anymore. Well, that's the end of chapter 2. That's the end of the story, guys.
Good. There was no Scooby-Doo at all in there.
There was
nothing happened.
Why is this under the fucking?
The Joker showed up and made Leonard get off of his AC unit.
Get off of my AC unit, you stolen nerd.
Sheldon fell through the floor and said Bazinga. That's the most notable thing I remember.
He did do that.
How can
they were in Coolsville, but like Scooby-Doo hasn't happened yet.
Cool.
I feel this is like the plot of Venomverse.
I was about to say, this is very like friggin' if it wasn't for Coolsville and that like kind of faint poke at Velma from that note in chapter 1, this would have nothing to do with Scooby-Doo. They are skirting by on a fucking string. But
and the Newports, don't forget the Newports.
True, the Newports and the 3 packs of vanilla cigaroos. Do not forget.
Fred's signature Newports he has in every episode.
Alright, so being as we didn't find out who, I'm just gonna say Fred wins.
Okay, well, everybody rate that story.
Alright, I'm gonna give it just the greenest fucking banana. This was very obviously
this damn banana chart.
Yeah.
Steven, you're weak. You need new charts.
Alright.
I'm giving it the least flavored Pringle in the can of pizza Pringles. So like the one with the least amount of dust.
The one like
that's what it was.
Yeah, the one
the least amount of flavor.
I gotcha.
A faint pizza Pringle is still a good pizza Pringle.
I'm giving it a saltless, low sodium Pringle. Just like this
low sodium. That's all Pringles got, Steven.
That's it. Yeah.
They got sodium.
Go to Walmart.
That's what Scooby-Doo was in this story.
Pretty much. There you go. There was like no flavor to this. It was just meh.
Yep. The amount of Scooby-Doo in correlation to a flavor of Pringles. This chart is truly rivaling the banana chart after all. Okay.
Thank you.
Alright.
Good story.
Thank you, Steven. That was quite lovely.
Thanks,
reading.
big whatever.
Hey.
Big
Sorry. What a name.
Why does
Anyways.
it in the characters like starring it says Shaggy and Leonard but no fucking Sheldon or any of the other characters that were actually in the story?
Shaggy was there, he just forgot to write him in.
Shaggy was the AC unit.
Shaggy was watching from afar the whole time, but the writer never pointed it out. It was up to you to decide that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If you paint the picture in your head like he wanted you to see it, you would see Shaggy's green shirt in the distance.
Okay, I'm really excited for my story, so let's go.
Shoot.
Okay, I'm gonna skip the title and the people, and I'm actually just gonna read one review. It says, "What the fuck does this guy do for a living? What the fuck? None of this made any sense." Okay.
Wow.
It's also 10,000 words, but obviously I'm not going to read that.
Right.
Anyways, I'll just get as far as I can, or until it stops being interesting.
How
Yeah.
many chapters is it?
Just one.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
10,000 word chapter.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Cool.
Alright.
Okay. It opens. Scooby and Shaggy definitely go into Chipotle. Through the door is advertised.
What?
One of them's wearing a collar. I bet you would have guessed it was the dog, but it's not so simple. You see, they had a fight earlier about who got to wear the collar, and with the way things went, Shaggy just ended up buying one himself. Scooby, on the other hand, was completely naked and would have eaten his collar that night anyways.
Eating it?
As they went in through the automatic doors, an unfamiliar aroma shot into their skulls. What is this? Fried hot dog pasta and a Tex-Mex Rex? I would have never guessed, Scoob. Yeah, Raggy. Replied Scoob.
dog
It's about this point into our
Like Scoob, I love fried.
Like hot dog pasta, Scoob.
I recognize this. I make it all the
Chipotle.
time.
Shut up. Chipotle, the place where dreams come true.
Anyways, it's about this point where you guys in this series should realize I'm terrible at voice acting, so all my voices are going to be butchered.
Don't worry, me too, man.
Okay.
Don't worry.
It was already at 2 p.m., and they hadn't even ordered yet. Too many compromising choices on the menu. I don't know, does it say when they came in? I don't
They
think so.
just walked in there.
He did it as
Oh, it's already
advertised.
2 p.m. and they hadn't even ordered yet. They might have been standing there for a minute. Anyways, too many
Yeah.
compromising choices on the menu. You had your baked burrito bazillions. You had a damn taco. You had all sorts of condiments.
A damn
Monuments
taco.
and blankets. These were all smallpox souvenirs, embellished in scabs, really. It would have never occurred to me that such a workplace hazard would have even existed in a place like this. Why was it even on the menu? I'm sure you're pondering out loud. If not, you're definitely pondering it. Well, you see, Shaggy and Scooby are several steps behind you. They find all of these things appetizing.
What?
And aren't going to stop until they die.
There's several
Taking-
steps behind me. I don't think that's fucking true.
This is like some... it's
Steven,
about
don't
this...
turn around.
Oh, I already
It's about
did.
this
There's
time
a
where I
bed.
should point out, this is like, I don't know how often I'm gonna butcher it, but this is
Right.
like fascinatingly well written. Like this is really, really well written.
Sounds
So I'm
like
just gonna
it.
keep going.
All right.
Taking turns grabbing bills from their communal wallet, they paid the cashier at least 6 times before they got their food, because from within that wallet, they offered to trade credit cards, ticket stubs, food stamps, debit cards, and a whole lot of money. Successfully,
Oh,
they got
God.
about 60% of the entire menu on one table, and they
Oh,
weren't
my
going to
God.
hesitate to eat all of it before closing. Luckily, it was all finger foods. They didn't have to waste any kinetic energy on grabbing utensils, even though they were everywhere. The salt shaker on the table that the duo picked to use was prepped and ready to go to spill everywhere. Nasty kids, it didn't matter. Shaggy was used to taking in a lot of salt.
Oh my god. That's good.
Didn't matter.
Reading this for the first time, it keeps getting me.
Oh my god.
He almost had a penchant for the most sodium-packed peanuts, not even taking off the shells when he chewed them, and thus got it all in his teeth, and he was one of unhappy camper. Scooby, on the other hand, has jaws much more fitting to grinding up inedible matter. Look at those molars. If it weren't for me, I'd be having Scooby eat all of my laundry, mow the yard with his appetite, and worst of all, make him eat sulfur.
What?
If it were for... If it,
He wants to kill Scooby.
I guess he's saying if it were me, I would make him do that.
Oh,
The author.
okay.
Anyways,
Oh.
all the food is cooled off now. They're ready to eat and nothing's going to stop them. The first bite was probably out of the pizza they brought in.
Nothing is
What, you
gonna
didn't
stop
notice?
him.
Yeah. This actually is what the words say. What, you didn't notice? Yeah, they carried a whole pepperoni pizza from the home and needed it to cool off on the car ride over, so it was perfectly ready to eat when they sat down. Slice after slice, the entire pizza was consumed in a half hour. They really needed to pace themselves as they were going to bite into every last crumb. They looked full, but those stomachs are just lie-in cavities. They'll never feel satisfaction at this rate. Time to step it up, guys? No, they couldn't hear a word because they chew with their mouths open. Like, this pizza, man, it could have been a lot better. Shaggy dabbed his chin and mouth area with a dirty napkin. I may as well have just brought the trail mix before we have to hike later today in the middle of the night. I heard the moose come out in the early morning hours, and I don't know, Scoob, I'm just feeling crazy enough to eat one alive. Scooby cocked his head for the first time since he was a puppy, and through primal emotions, almost considered biting him. And this was all in vain thinking. Scooby had so much food in front of him that even thinking of such bastardity would not have surprised even the most naive dweeb in the world. He took the first bite out of the genuine Chipotle burrito. It satisfied in a few levels. The beans were pretty evenly distributed throughout the skin of the product. Cheese was melted to satisfactory means. The ground pork and bologna really mixed well with the cream cheese, buffalo sauce, and nerd ground. It's all up in a coffee machine. Nerds ground up in a coffee machine. Resulting in a fine luminescent dust. This food was like Nerds candy. This food was completely foreign to our friends, your friends, and society. This was food reserved for morons, for mavericks, for marmalade lickers. This food destined to be eaten when all other foods had been ate. This food will outlive your relatives' relatives, and society. This is exactly what Shaggy was thinking about before yoinking the burrito out of the Komodo dragon Scooby's mouth to savor what flavor was left to be had. That's like, Scooby, as long as I've been around your drooling mouth, it never detracts from the delicious food we share. Shaggy shoved the whole thing in his mouth, even when he lost to Scoob. Scooby bared his teeth. Ruby-dooby-doo, Scooby quivered solemnly, his tear ducts unable to produce any moisture. He looked at the iced tea brought with his own money. Why did he get a straw, for heaven's sake? He's a dog and cannot even use his hands like a human, unless he feels like it. Instead of the proper technique of lapping it up with his big goofy tongue, he instead pawed it off the table. God. A wet plastic cup rolling around on public property. He panted, then gulped, then shifted his eyes, then fell asleep. Alright, Scroob, ready for the double-decker pizza? Shag had a keen eye on his face. He knew that Scooby was already getting sleepy, and once doing so, he'd have all the food to himself. Scooby drifted in and out of puppy consciousness, reliving his past as a regular dog with a wagging tail. Big bushy nose and his ears were freaking huge. REM sleep is supposed to occur with your eyelids closed, but not in Scooby's case. He had a giant backup plan.
Why guy slipped the Mickey in his drink, Scoob? I slipped a drug in your fucking drink. You're going to sleep.
Like a wound-up chatter toy, Scooby's teeth plowed through what looked like lasagna, but it was actually the taco salad in dense brick form. A solid 14 pounds. His tummy and intestines descended to the establishment floor, crushing the ants that were coming up to infest their table. Good job, Scoob. Maybe now you can finally save Tom's picnic from being sabotaged by insects or dogs with collars named Spike. Or their kids, or Shaggy's own jealousy. What am I reading?
What does that mean?
Voice. Give me a break.
What does that even mean?
Take a breather.
Yeah.
I'm trying to plow through this, but I need to drink some water.
Yeah, I see what you mean. This has definitely got a lot of work put into it. It's very vivid imagery.
Wanted to be really articulate about this Chipotle visit.
Yeah, somebody was making a really unnecessarily long joke.
They were inspired. They had a lot of passion.
If they ever find
for
this podcast, they're probably going to be astounded that anyone ever read this, but it's going down.
Well, yeah. Oh, goodness.
Okay, looks like it's going in an interesting direction. You have to admit, though, while Scooby had a pretty dynamic chin, Shaggy's is much more pointy, and with his cleft chin disability, he can effectively write with no hands. He just placed the pen inside that slot and write for hours, mostly about ghosts and the sloppiest of cursives, but he only uses ink that looks like blood. Yes, so our friend Fred Flintstone decides to walk in too. And
Yeah!
What is this?
Vintage!
And he's only got a visage painted on his skull that looks like he just won the lottery. $200. Enough to buy Wilma dinner, I guess. Fred thinks.
Enough to buy Wilma dinner.
I guess.
Wilma, get in here, you cunt!
Wilma, I've got $200 dinner with your name on it.
I'm so hungry!
The biggest Chipotle rock sandwich we could ever have.
Give me my coquina sandwich.
Okay, Fred slides his unclothed buttocks under the bar table and asks for a tequila with a lime. You know, some salt and a salt shaker. I like to gauge how much salt I put in my tequila before a squeal. How'd you get that?
Does Chipotle sell alcohol?
No,
Yes.
It's a taco bar. It does not, Steven.
It
It's a taco
doesn't?
bar. That's it. No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. I thought.
That's Fred. Broke the
All
code.
right. Cool.
He shifts his attention over to Scooby, who proudly displayed the aforementioned dynamic chin. That thing would win you big bucks in Vegas, I would, you know, people assume I gamble, but it's not gambling if you win every time, he said. He lifted himself from his stool using only his powerful muscular arms and swung himself just inches away from Scooby's face.
Oh my god.
What do you say? Would you pay me a few $100 to see your face? Whoo, sorry. He uses an inhaler. What I meant to say was, could I pay you $5 to take a picture of your face? He twiddles his thumbs, he buttons his shirt, he puts on his pants, and he faces and awaits an answer from Scooby. Scooby does a realistic dog whine and walks over of Freddy. Oh, he walks over to Fred. It's just spelled wrong. Completely trusting in him. In fact, he almost left Chipotle. It would have made a lot more sense if Shaggy just kept eating what he bought or brought. But no, he was really eyeing that prehistoric freak. What mind did he have to extort an aging dog who was already pretending to suffer from his dyslexia? Oh, Shaggy definitely had an aneurysm before walking up to Fred and thinking very hard before saying, I remember all you black-haired children from my school, and it was something I had to deal with on a daily basis. This crimson hair of mine has been a family genetic disorder that has been passed on through all of the wimpy Rogers in my family. My uncle, my wife, my 3 children-to-be, and even a pup named Scooby-Doo. All these men proudly wore their roast fur without biting a lash, or lashing a bat, or getting lashed, or getting hit with a bat a lot. Any of these fine punishments would have gone unheard of when they showed how red they really got. You think it just stayed the same color? Well, you're wrong, man. This hair changes color from red to gray. Well, your hair stays black until you die. You won't even know you're senile when you finally croak and fall over. You're too busy being invested in your good caveman looks. And what a disguise those looks are. Did you even know you had a stroke? Did you even know I killed Wilma? Barney's certainly gone too. He left the scene while it was happening. And don't even get me started on Dino. That's where I got this fucking collar from. Peggy's eyes grew furious. And don't even get me started on Dino. That's where I got this fucking collar from, man. He punched Fred square in the face and dented his chin just like Scooby.
Shaggy went off!
Shaggy's throwing down!
He doesn't need to ask anymore. There's his picture. He couldn't anyways, probably dead. He didn't check. The employees just dragged him out of the door like every other drunk that comes in.
It's Fred's fault.
What the
I'm sorry, I can't just move past the Shaggy just assaulted Fred Flintstone and Chipotle.
I need to go blow my nose. That monologue took the breath out of me.
That fucking killed me. Oh my god. That is not the turn I expected. Oh my god.
Hey! He must have hit Fred hard. One swift strike.
Heavy motherfucker, how'd he do that? Shaggy's fucking sausage link arms knocked that Neanderthal down.
That was really something.
How'd he do that?
Okay.
Oh,
He comes back
Guys-
from that, like the
Oh,
other drunks that come in. Like Scoob, you can't just walk away with strangers. They might have ghosts in their car. He was obviously lying about the real dangers to Scoob. But with the dog's childlike intellect, he didn't want to rock his world just
what
yet.
fucking
They walk back
ghost?
to
The
their
one you
soil.
make, Shaggy? The one you make from killing people at Chipotle, you piece of shit? God. Fucking hell. I'm not getting over this. Oh my god.
There's like a lot left. There's like an eighth of the way through this fucking story.
Fucking.
Commercial time. While Steven's catching his breath, in the meantime, I'd like to shout out Kevin MacLeod and his album Jazz Sampler from that sweet, sweet royalty-free music on Free Music Archive. Otherwise, I don't really have any sponsors, just you guys. And on that note, if you could share us on any social medias you have, check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, I don't know, wherever you find us. We appreciate the support. Thanks, back to the show. Okay. This is so funny. I'm reading like the next sentence and already losing my mind. Like, I really want to finish this one, but it's so goddamn long. This psychopath.
This is a good...
We have to like make this a two-parter or something
That's
for like a future episode.
I agree.
That's insane. No one's ever gonna be able to find this shit, so it's fine. There's like a million Scooby-Doo crossovers.
Yeah. I'm sure we
anyways, back to it.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find a good stopping point and just take it up in a different episode.
They walked back to their soiled table, where the food in front of them was indeed still solid matter. Might as well get started on that damn taco. It had a flaky consistency, kind of like an onion, but with all sorts of Mexican flavors too. Flowering cactus, pork, tamales, all it goes to the same place. They actually ate this like regular food, shoving it down their throats without touching any of the taste buds. And yet they said, "Yum, what's the deuce?" A voice was heard from inside the building. These two knew better than to turn their heads and look at who said that. They would invest too much time, and Chipotle was going to close within the next 5 hours. Babies invest too much of your time, so why even bother? This is what Shaggy had never attempted having children. I mean, look at Scrappy. Okay, so they finished their tacos, had small talk, typical dog stuff. It would have been funny if they sniffed each other's butts, but these animals, this human and this dog, were domesticated long ago. The dogs trained the dogs to act like wolves and then once again act like dogs. The humans span around each other like tops, gravitationally attracted to one another like whirlgags, dancing the dance of another life in perfect 3D motion. I can't even, this gets so deep.
Yeah, this is
next
intense.
Paragraph.
Read a little more.
They were wearing clothes far out of their league. They had purses twice the size and values of their car. They had lipstick, they had makeup, they had skirts and the longest socks you'd ever seen. They had glasses, both of them. They were the same color as their skin. They had their hairs and their buns. Their eyelashes were still dripping with the messiest mascara I'd ever seen. Scoob. Such were the things noticed upon the arrival of the girls from the van. Velma and, Daphne. Walking side by side, hand in hand, like the lesbian couple that was never meant to be. But not really, because they were just friends. Like, Scoob, don't we know these guys? Shaggy kidded. Haha, very funny, Shaggy, said Daphne, almost in unison with Velma.
Like, really? Who are you?
Too late. So it was just awkward. We were just around the mall, and we decided to walk in to check up on you guys. Shaggy popped a smallpox scab into his mouth and switched it around like it was fish food, but it did not bode well. Yak! This shit tastes like Nickelodeon gack! Yak!
That is a layered
Shaggy
ass
attempted to
joke.
induce vomiting, but oh yeah, there were women around.
Oh,
Better
God.
play it cool, dude. Like, we're doing okay. We still have a lot of work to do, though. He points out all the food, all the lukewarm food they've yet to eat. Like, gross, Shaggy. Aren't you worried about this food isn't gonna be good anymore? You've been here for almost 4 hours, and everything, even the water, is gone stale.
Like,
If I
I
were
don't
you, I'd check with
fucking
the manager.
critique you, bitch!
Most of these things aren't even on the menu. Shaggy chuckled. Heh, yeah, we brought some of the stuff in. The dog was in no mood to talk. He had been gazing at legs he'd never seen before. These luscious pantyhose, ripped maybe, but still looking good. Daphne had really let herself go, but she looked happy.
Whoa.
And man, if that's not what counts, then yeah, I guess not. Her lips evoked imagery from third world countries. And I'm talking about the royalty from third world countries. So yeah, she looked pretty nice. With her crimson hair, not yet grayed, neither black nor was she spayed. Scooby would have reiterated thousands of lines of poetry for this vixen, if not just for one delicate pat in his head. His ears wiggled with the possibility that just he and Daphne would go to the park together, and he'd be walked for miles. Daphne, look over there! Scooby didn't point to any direction in particular, so Daphne just kind of floated her eyeballs in tens of different directions, hoping to catch whatever Scooby was talking about, but to no avail. Scooby realized the pointlessness of this and just bowed his head in shame, tisking himself and lapping up the bowl of water that employees thought would be fitting for a dog who wasn't supposed to be in there in the first place. Well, me and my girlfriend, long pause, are just going to go to the bathroom, not to urinate, just to talk. They left, hand in hand. Their act openly extinguished any proper conversation that could have been had. Shaggy made a gesture of pointing his hand like a gun to his head and pulling the trigger. Scooby laughed, and then he also took a smallpox scab, effortlessly, without breathing. This is a disaster scenario waiting to happen, and they weren't full. Luckily, breaks were acceptable, and Shaggy had a voyeuristic idea. Using a stethoscope that he pawned off of a puppy of Scooby-Doo, they would eavesdrop on the woman in the bathroom. Not because they got off on it,
but more because these were men who like to know what no other men would care to know or dare to know.
That is gnarly as fuck.
Luckily, the woman seemed to be in the stalls, urinating. What the hell did I just say? Not urinating, holy shit. So they tiptoed over to the stalls where the heavily clothed big women were doing their private sermons with urine. But much to the dismay of our spies, the stalls also had automatic doors, and lo and behold, men staring at girls going to the bathroom with a stethoscope. Most people would have found this very, very accessible. But Velma and Daphne were all but horrified. Who are these men? Velma said. Looks like your run-of-the-mill con artist, Daphne replied. They left the room in a shuffle, and then left the building in a shuffle. Probably more upset, but would forget it after shopping more. Shaggy and Scooby high-fived each other because they both realized how much they sucked. Scooby's paw flickered like a candle because he really had a lot of energy. It must have given Shaggy 25 high-fives before heading back to the table.
25. Like Scoob!
Raggy! Where did our food go?
Like Scoob!
The table was completely clean. No food, no utensils, not even the napkins they soaked in tears. Looks like someone picked up our pot-pourri of sandwiches, meats, and lasagna, Scoob. You gotta get out of here, man. They attempted to exit the door, only to immediately wind up back at the table, sitting down. What just happened, Shaggy? I don't know, man, but I'm getting pretty freaked out. They attempted to run into the bathroom, but again, they said at the table, "Oh, we just forgot to pay for our food. I'll take care of this." He walked over to the cashier and gave him his last $20 bill. He had a lot more money, but that was his last $20 bill. Like, could you hand me my bill, man? Me and Scoob didn't pay yet, and it is about closing time. Still 5 hours away from closing time. So if we could just cash in and get ourselves out of here, that'd be swell. I mean, I'd love to stick around here after hours, but man, I've got a pizza waiting in the oven at home, and I think it's about burnt. So, you know...
Shaggy, okay, let's recap.
It's like 4 hours later or whatever.
Shaggy punched a man in public. Fucking creepered on women in the bathroom, and he's slowly burning down his own house.
A creepy stock butler looked at the money that was given to him, smacking his lips in indifference, and then averted his attention to the table. Please be seated, sir. We'll have your food ready in no time. But man, you already ordered us our food. We weren't even finished. I guess we were gone long enough for you to think we left. Isn't that right, Scoob? Scooby shook his head. I'm terribly sorry, sir, but all of your food was stale and old and bad. You didn't even finish the pasta, and you know how I feel about pasta. The Italians have quite the penchant for things like pasta. Things that you cook with have meats and sauce, cheese or scallops. These are foods that I personally wouldn't even feed to an eel, but you guys are willing to take chances, and for that, please have this, my indifference. He took out a switchblade and almost stabbed Shaggy in the skin.
I think that's a pretty good cliffhanger.
That's good.
Okay, I guess that's the end of part 1.
All
we'll
right.
see you guys in a later episode.
That is the most pizza-ass Pringle. Oh my god.
Like, that's an actual slice of pizza they stuffed into the Pringles can.
That is a fucking...
It's still good when you open it somehow.
The surprise at the bottom of the container, man, where all the dust is, and it's marinating. That's perfect.
God, that was beautiful.
Perfect. Who is this guy, and what else has he written? Because this deserves a shout out, alright?
That's fair. He put a lot of work into this, and he probably wants people to read it.
Yeah.
I think we should wait until the next episode.
Alright.
Well, no, let's just give it to him.
Yeah, what else?
In case we forget or something happens.
Okay.
How do I check?
Just go to the top, right?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, it's XKURIEUA, X-Kuriwa.
Well,
And
man,
he has 3 stories. Scooby and Shaggy go to Chipotle, Reston Ford, taking place within the pup named Scooby-Doo universe, and Crazy Doggy, in which Scooby plays with the following in his dreams and Shaggy doesn't even know about this. I'd like to point out, the Reston Ford is 28,000 words long.
holy
in 5
hell.
chapters. This is nuts.
Dude.
This dude is awesome. Again, this is XKURIEUA. Rieua. Ex-Korea.
We fucking
Whatever.
love you. Fucking Papa
Yeah, you're
bless
great,
you,
man.
buddy. Good job. Awesome, man. That's good
Okay.
times.
That was a good story.
Dude,
Let's try to...
anyone who
Let's do
writes
the last
Fred
one.
Flintstone
I
getting
don't
knocked
wanna
on
rush
his
it.
ass is perfect, alright? You won my vote with that one line. The rest of the story could have been shit, but that one line would have fucking worked, and I would have given you a solid rating.
Alright, here we go. Welcome to Coolsville. This town is home to a 7-mile-long sandwich and Mystery Incorporated, the most experienced mystery solvers in the business.
2 equally important notes.
Indeed.
Now to bring up to speed by entering Coolsville Middle School, where the gang of Mystery Inc. has caught the Indigo Demon, and the press is surrounding them. And so this Indigo Demon is none other than George Sylvester, Velma, who by the way is the brains of the group, said. The guidance counselor. She tore off the hideous mask and revealed a blonde-haired man with broken glasses and smelled like aftershave. The reporters gasped at the sighting, truly amazed that it was the kind 36-year-old man, and not the creepy janitor that stalked the Mystery Inc. gang. It's all quite simple, Fred the leader said. You see, George figured out the school was on top of oil, and lots of it, Velma continued. He thought if he could scared everyone away, then the school would have had to be sold off. Next step, to buy the remains and become an instant rich man. And the main clue was found by Shaggy, wasn't it? Shaggy is the eater of the group, along with his dog Scooby-Doo. So hold on. His plan was to scare people from the middle school so they would close a public school, so he could buy the land rights.
George, that sounds like a plan you'd make.
I would never do such a thing. Like I did? Shaggy said questionably. Yes, you did, Velma said. You found the tape that belonged to George to keep his glasses from splitting apart when you ran into the Indigo Demon. And next time we saw him, the tape changed. So Shaggy found a tiny little roll of tape, and then they saw the demon, and Shaggy found it again, and there was slightly less tape.
Shaggy remembered to pick it up the first time and count exactly how much tape there was.
Who else?
He unraveled it and counted each inch and then re-raveled it.
Like, I don't really remember counting every single centimeter of that roll of tape I found on the ground twice.
What else?
I guess I'm just a psychopath.
Where's Rafty? Scooby asked.
Oh, God.
And yes, Scooby is the only Great Dane that can talk and have a problem with most beginning letters, Velma smiled and said, Where else? Velma opened the door to the guidance counselor's room to see Daphne tied up to a chair and gagged.
Whoa.
And Daphne is the fashion queen of the group.
Also gagged.
Whoa.
When Velma took off the gag, she said, There you are, I've been trapped here for ages.
There you are, what's up?
And later, the gang got more interviews. The bad guy said, Curse you kids and your dog! Until they were alone in the Mystery Machine,
Classic
the
Scooby-Doo.
envious Mystery Incorporated van.
Like, I know that that's like a friggin' super popular line at this point, but just the way that he wrote that, fuck you kids and your dog, it's like he was just out of things to yell at, so he just looked down at Scooby, pointed his finger, and said, and your dog!
Your dog.
Well, that wraps up another one, Fred said. There was silence. Nothing new, Velma said. Then there was a small black thing with big, bright yellow eyes that came into the middle of the road. Freddy, look out! Daphne replied.
Oh no.
And the whole van swerved left and right in an insane state. Luckily, they missed it. Like, man, what was that? Shaggy asked. I don't know, Shaggy. I don't know, Velma said. Up in space, 3 explorers are in their gummy ship above Coolsville. Sora, the
Planet
key
Coolsville.
bearer, stared at the planet.
Oh no!
It was odd, filled with these red flowers in a hippie fashion. What's the name of this world again? Sora asked.
Planet Cool's World.
I can't. I'm not even gonna bother doing a Donald accent. Coolsville, and according to the scale, its darkness scale is through the roof, Donald said. Donald, as in Donald Duck, who is a wizard. Sora cocked his head and said, It doesn't look like it with all the flowers and all. Gosh, should we just skip this world? Goofy. And yes, it is the Goofy from those famous movies, who is now a knight, said, Skip a world? Not for this fearless key bearer. Let's get a closer look, Sora said. We can't. We are just outside the atmosphere. If we get closer, and we will have another crash, Donald said. Come on, a little bit? Sora touched a button. Oh no, not that button! And so the gummy ship came cascading down to the place next to the mystery machine, and all of the kids inside thought it was a meteorite.
Well, I fucking
Jinkies,
told
that would
you!
make an amazing discovery.
We should have
Pull over,
skipped this
Fred,
world.
Velma said.
Well, I fucking
Fred
told
relented
you!
and pulled over, and the gang... What?
Said, oh, I fucking told you, Sora, we should have skipped this world! You
Hey!
Stay mad!
It's a stressful situation!
Fred relented and pulled over, and the gang went to the site. It was a fiery mess with Sora and Donald sprawled on the ground, knocked out. Alright? Scooby asked. I don't know, man, Shaggy said. I don't hear fire trucks. Maybe we should take these guys back to the base, Fred said. Probably, the rest said in union. And it is now, when we get into Sora's knocked-out mind, where Sora is having a nightmare. He is in Destiny Island, running for his life. Sora slumped in a corner, sweat dripping off his left brow. The sea breeze was now seemed to be a blizzard storm. Then he heard a groan. It was long and it was low.
Oh,
Sora
dear.
took out his keyblade. Stay back! I'm warning you! That's my Sora voice, by the way. Do you like it?
I like it.
Yes,
I like
accurate.
it. Sounds just like it, man.
Then he saw it, in an old underwater suit, green and covered with seaweed.
Oh no!
The
Oh.
evil waterman, as he called it. It came toward him and the Keyblade vanished. He stared at the evil waterman and shook. It was there to kill him. He didn't know why, he just did.
It's the Scuba Man.
He's like one of the Scooby-Doo villains.
I know, but
The water.
Sora's gonna kill this real person.
No, he's gonna kill Sora.
I gotta look up a picture
Sora's
of the
gonna take that?
waterman.
His
okay?
Keyblade disappeared. He's in fear.
Sora's gonna hit him with his hands for real.
I have to look a picture up of the fucking waterman now.
He just came closer and closer. He closed his eyes, telling himself it didn't exist. He then woke up boisterously to find himself on a couch with a blanket on him. And if it wasn't odd enough, he was in different clothes. A green shirt with brown pants and orange handkerchief around his neck. Confused, he came to see Donald wearing a white t-shirt that said I Heart Mystery Incorporated in another room, so he walked in.
As if Donald would know who they are.
And if that wasn't enough, Donald was complaining to some teenagers. 3 to be exact. One was this brawny-looking fellow with blonde hair and had the same handkerchief he did. Another was a tall-looking brown-haired guy with the same clothes as him, minus the first handkerchief with a goatee. And finally a girl in a purple dress with orange hair and another purple thing, a headband. Sora then noticed the Great Dane. It was huge. That's not him! He just sent us a picture. There you are, Donald said to Sora. Tell these people to show us Goofy. For the last time, Mr. Duck Thing, we don't have this goofy character. Hold on, Sora said while rubbing his eyes. Where are we? Like, where else? Said the tall guy. Coolsville, man!
Where else?
Where else would you be in the world?
I've never been
I can't do a Donald
anywhere
voice.
else.
No, you have to have a very distinct capability to
Yeah.
be Donald Duck.
Seriously.
I don't want it anyway.
Ew!
God.
Donald, what do you mean where's Goofy? Sora asked. He's not here. He's not anywhere. I bet these people have him, Donald said. Row, row, Scooby said. Sora cocked his head. Again, I might add. He said, no, we don't, Shaggy said. Oh, then obviously if they don't have him, they don't have him, Sora said. Well, Donald said, do you trust them? I do, Sora said. Donald looked over them again with skepticism, then sighed and said, well, okay.
What if he's like in the town square in a soapbox, like with a microphone, saying, I'm sick of you damn hippies. I came to this town to get out of my hometown, and this place is full of you damn hippies. You want to cut your hair, and I'm sick of looking at you. And then they're just gonna come in and tackle Goofy off his soapbox. Like, not again, Goofy. You can't be doing this when we go to new places, Goofy. We're not supposed to meddle in other worlds, Goofy.
Goofy just turns around and jabs his finger into Sora's chest. I fucking told you!
I knew this place would be like the others.
I could feel this a mile
I'm sorry, guys. These people are just disgusting.
People are so dirty.
I don't want to.
Have you ever heard of taking a bath? Like, what's that?
Am I right? Am I right? Look at him.
Sora, don't use the Keyblade you get from here. It's gonna be dirty.
Put that away.
You stick to the Finding Nemo Keyblade. I'm not gonna have it. Not in my gummy ship. Okay, let's see. So, what is you guys' names? Sora asked. I'm Fred, the blonde said. This is Shaggy, Daphne. Back in the lab is Velma. And the dog is Scooby-Doo! The Great Dame reply. Yup. It says Dame, by the way, not Dane.
Great Dame.
God.
What a ham, Sora snickered. Oh, you have no idea, Fred said. Velma, Sora assumed, to burst out of the lab with lab coat and all and said, Guys, we have a problem. What kind of problem? Daphne said. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's very bad, Velma gulped. There has been an outbreak of some kind of dark matter consuming 11 or 10 people's hearts, turning them into masking themselves as ghosts and monsters. That was really hard to read.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Nope. That's bad, Shaggy said.
This is heavy
No.
stuff.
Scooby said. Monsters and ghosts? Sora shook. Velma nodded. Of the evilest kind? Sora fainted. When he got up, Donald asked, What happened to the fearless key bearer? It died when she said monsters of the worst kind, Sora gulped. What about in Halloween Town? Donald inquired. They said in that song said that they weren't mean. What's wrong with your friend? Velma asked. He's freaked out about the monster thing, Donald said. Well, it's going to get worse, Velma said.
Oh my god.
Worse? What do you mean worse? Sora said as his head shot up. Velma turned on the flat screen TV that showed a DNA strip, which enlarged to show a black aura that covered the DNA. There's been a kind of alien aura has entered about 11 pieces of DNA. I gotta say, by the way, I am reading this verbatim.
Oh my
This is
goodness.
not me with a broken brain stuttering over these words.
Hey! Come on.
This young man or woman worked very hard in her sentences.
You really
There
want-
has been a kind of alien that has entered about 11 pieces of DNA.
Yeah.
Come
Okay.
on. George, he just really wants to prove how much this would have... He wanted to prove just how right Goofy was about this whole situation, alright?
No, that's fine. Continue.
And they are entering people with specific DNA and inspiring them to take form of some of our scariest foes. Such as, Fred inquired. She touched another button on the remote to show 11 scary faces. Miner 49er, Ghost of Mr. Hyde, the Native American Witch Doctor, Iron Face, the San Fran Psycho, the Phantom Shadows, the Space Cook, Dr. Coffin, Charlie the Robot, the Gator Ghoul, Captain Cutler. Blah! Sora gasped. He skidded behind Scooby. Donald looked at him and asked, "What's wrong?" He doesn't exist, he doesn't exist, he doesn't exist, he doesn't exist, Sora rambled. Like I could fix him, Shaggy said. He took out 5 Skull pepper sauce and slammed it in his mouth. What the hell, Shaggy? It took Sora 1 second to burst out with his mouth on fire. He ran around in circles until Daphne threw ice into his mouth. After Sora calmed down, Velma said, "And finally, the Black Knight Ghost." Now, this alien DNA would have come from that thing we saw coming down the road. She put up a picture of the creature they saw. "A Heartless!" Donald exclaimed. "Heartless?" Scooby asked. "Yes, they are these evil creatures who controls people's hearts and turn them evil, or something like that. That would explain these wannabe ghosts appearing." "Hold on, Velmster," Fred said.
Holmster?
"How do you know these ghosts are the ghosts we are looking for?" "Easy, their costumes were stolen from the Coulsonian 2 nights ago."
The Coulsonian.
I guess that's like the Smithsonian, but
I-
cool,
Yeah.
It's cool, it has...
Velma said.
It's in
cooler.
Coolsville.
"Well, gang, looks like we have another mystery on our hands." "Like man, Scoob, if there's ever been a most frightening mystery to solve, this is it."
We haven't even seen anything yet. Just talking trash.
Shaggy's been surprisingly calm in this whole endeavor.
Besides throwing hot sauce down Sora's mouth.
As he
He
does.
poured hot sauce into his bare hand and just put it over Sora's mouth.
Like, try this Packy chip, Sora.
Like, welcome to the One Chip Challenge, Sora.
God, I need sardines and whipped cream.
You don't chase
Wow.
spicy food with that.
Tell that to Joey.
We're not bringing up Joey on the podcast.
Alright.
Joey's World Tour TM.
Hey!
Don't.
I'll censor that.
Please.
Well then, Sora said as he began to back into the doorway exit. "It's been nice to meet you guys, but I gotta go. You know, places to go, people to see." Donald angrily said, "Sora! We can't leave! Goofy must be somewhere on this planet, and the gummy ship is destroyed, so we need to find more gummy blocks anyway." Sora sighed. "And Sora," Donald said, "we both know you're the only one who can fight Heartless." Sora sat down and sighed once again. Then he said, "I only have one question." Fred smiled and said, "Sure." "How did me and Donald get into these clothes?" Daphne giggled. Fred has an emotionless face and his eyelid twitched. Shaggy put his arms on Sora's shoulder. "Like, man, you don't want to know." And so ends the first chapter, in which people meet and destiny will be entered. A friend that has vanished might be saved, and horrors will come to life for most everyone. What will happen? Only time will tell.
What would everybody rate the story?
I gave my rating on the
Stop
Discord.
sending pictures from Scooby-Doo!
That's my rating.
Elias is gonna have to put all these up, and it's gonna be really hard.
I get.
He's gonna have to do like a cool zip-in thing, and they're gonna have to like whoop and bounce a little bit and
I'm just
jostle
gonna
there.
cut an audio of me manually spelling out the entire URL of these images.
I give.
I.imgur.com
squinting to the point where his line art crosses and he
capital
looks
T, capital
fucking
C,
evil.
capital A, lowercase v,
Just
capital
look
V,
up
dot
bad
JPEG.
photo shots. Just look up original Scooby-Doo awkward frames. I don't know.
Look
Even
up,
sending a bunch of garbage to the chat. It's not important.
look up Scooby-Doo gifs. Because that's actually.
Don't look up Scooby-Doo gifs.
Don't worry.
It's not worth your time.
It's not.
Look up Scooby-Doo Vor.
Fuck you.
I give this story a Scooby-Doo Vor out of Scooby-Doo image searches.
I give it frame 1 out of the GIF I just described, which is the image I described.
I give it a plain salted Pringle. It was fine. It was taking its time. Solid. Wasn't as funny as it could have been, but it is what it is. It was
I enjoyed
satisfying.
the parts where we made up about Goofy on a soapbox. That was pretty cool.
I agree, that was
if
really
we can get in
nice.
contact with the author and make that happen, that'd be really cool.
How old is this?
I agree.
Let's see. There is a chapter 2, by the way, but I don't think we have time to fit it in. I just clicked to chapter 2, but it doesn't actually exist. It's just an author's note
No!
saying, sorry, it's been a long time since my last big chat. I apologize for the inconvenience. The next chapter will come out soon. Don't expect it to be better. I am in a room full of homework. Curse you!
Fucking school.
So,
God.
yeah. Sorry about that. Don't expect that, the second part of that, Scooby-Doo Kingdom Hearts anytime soon, so...
Well, we'll find
And
more.
mine looks to be an OC romance story with Kakashi from Naruto and an OC who just happens to be called Scooby-Doo, who's actually an 800-year-old female god making love to Kakashi from Naruto.
a friggin'...
So that's not going to happen either. But that story with Scooby and Shaggy and Chipotle, hell yeah, that's going
was
down sometime in the
phenomenal.
future.
Absolutely.
We're going to go ahead and throw this at the end of the episode.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, thanks.
Alright, thank you, everyone. Good
Or
night.
whatever. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, good morning, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, I told you the episode would end. Fuck.